What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Thanos from Avengers Endgame, and you can order this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click down below. They only offer $4 shipping and they double box your figures, and you can also use the pile of loot. So if you have more than one pre-order, you can ship it all at the same time for the same amount of $4. Especially this guy, it has a big box. And you want to get this protected because it's quite heavy. And as you can see here from the box itself, it is massive. Also the shipper box, it actually does have a handle, so you would only see that for heavy items from Hot Toys. The box is quite beautiful. I wish I could display this. I wish I have the room because it is quite beautiful. And as you can see here, it has more accessories than the Infinity War version, which I do have as well. There's going to be a questions and it won't be avoided, like which Thanos to pick. So if you are kind of on the fence with this figure, or you want to wait for the other Endgame, the battle damage one, I highly do suggest wait for my other video. I'm going to create a comparison video between this and the Infinity War, and we'll talk about the Endgame battle damage version as well. But going back to this figure, it's like I said, it's beautiful. There's a lot of intricate details on the box that it looks like Thanos. You see the box art on the side, it looks like Thanos's blade. It has that shape, and you see the gauntlet on the side, which is not movie accurate really, because I don't even think the only time I see him wear this was actually in Infinity War, when on the beginning scene where he was in Asgard, and it doesn't even have all the stones yet, and then he removed his armor right after that. But here's what I would say. You can see this beautiful figure. It's huge. You can see it's on a separate, like its own shell. Here's what I would say though. He is, if you're only planning on owning one Thanos, I would say he's the guy. He's not the most movie accurate because the gauntlet, I wish it would have been the nano gauntlet, but it's not, for movie accuracy. But if you're looking for the movie / comic book Thanos, kind of like a mix in between, then he would be the guy. Having the gauntlet, obviously the gauntlet is more iconic than the nano one, because the nano one is more just for the movies. So, but with the price that we're paying for, it's $400. It's almost a premium format. So, I wish they would have included that. He comes with more hands compared to the Infinity War version. He got the weapon yielding hands. He got these hands that are kind of expressive hands. He got the relaxed palm hands and fisted ones as well, and it comes with this huge blade. Now this blade is made out of plastic, but I can't imagine this being die cast. That would be really heavy. Even with the ratchet joints of this figure, there's no need. There's no need to put more stress on the figure. It's nicely painted. It gives you the illusion that it is metal. It is die cast. It has a lot of nice paint application in there, so no complaints whatsoever when it comes to this blade. I think they're gonna use the same blade for the battle damage version. Did it ever get damaged? I don't recall. Like fighting Thor and Captain America, I know he used this to bash his shield. And then he comes with this Infinity Gauntlet as well, which he never really wore. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. Maybe he wore it like one scene. For the majority of the scene he didn't. So I'm not going to put this in, but it kind of reminds you, because you can take this out and display it on its own. So you got the fisted gauntlet here, and then the articulated finger gauntlet. So you can kind of treat it like the quarter scale gauntlet that's Hot Toys is selling for like $100. It comes with the alternate head. You can see the screaming head sculpt here, the more expressive one, and the base, which I actually do like better than the Infinity War version. It's smaller, so it does have a smaller footprint on your display base, and I like the fact I wish they would have made it like a clear pole, kind of like with the Infinity War, because I like just the single crotch grabber on that one compared to the crotch grabber of this, because of the armor. He does have some armor that flows down in his thighs, so it kind of hits that crotch piece, and it's just annoying sometimes. You can see here he is wearing the armor, and this is the two pieces that I was talking about. They're leather, and sometimes if you're in a hurry, you put them down, it kind of gets caught in that crotch grabber piece, but it's a minor complaint that I do have. As far as the armor, it is beautiful. Everything about this, this piece is beautiful. Even though I think ideally you want this to have the same outfit as the Infinity War Thanos inside, only with armor, because on the movie when he removed all his armor, then he became the Infinity War underneath it. But you can't really see it by looking at this figure. Like if you take out the armor, you won't see the undergarment, and you can see from the side some of the armor pieces are being held together via magnet, which is beautiful if you ask me. But I have seen reports where these bicep, I don't know what you call them, armor pieces do transfer the paint into his skin. So that is something to keep note about. I never have any intentions of removing his armor, so it is what it is. But if you do that, like if it transfers, then you can only have that piece in one spot. You can't move it around. So I might put like a sticker or something underneath, like a clear one, so it kind of protects the skin from transferring the paint. But who knows? We'll see. It has good range of articulation, which I would not demonstrate in this video. His ratchet, it's good range for what he is. So as big as he is, he can hold his arm. You can bend the elbows, which I would demonstrate later. There's ankle articulation as well for having him stand if he doesn't have a stand. That helps. But as far as just aesthetic wise, it is beautiful. There's a lot of damage in his armor. That's why I was a bit surprised when they announced the battle damage Thanos for Endgame, because he is pretty damaged himself. Now that figure offers some accessories or head sculpt that this one does not offer. Is it enough for me to double dip? I don't know. We'll see. I have no plans currently to pick up that figure, but you never know, things could change. I have no plans on picking up Aquaman, and I picked him up anyway. I always, for whatever reason, talk myself into getting these figures, even though they're really expensive. He's one of the more iconic villains ever in a cinematic universe for MCU or any comic book movie ever. So having two doesn't. I guess I could justify that if I have like 6 Iron Man. So. I mean, him with the Infinity War look is so different that you could, and that was my plan, to have 2 Thanoses to begin with. But 3 between him and the battle damage, is it enough difference? I would say no. But we will see. We shall see. If my plan is, if I don't pick up the battle damage Thanos, that I would pick up Professor Hulk and hope that that gauntlet would work on Thanos, so I can interchange it. That was the plan. And as far as the head sculpt, it shares the same head sculpt as the Infinity War version. So that's a bit boring in my opinion. Because now I'm not looking forward to it. And I knew this before I bought the figure. Here's what I wish Hot Toys did. Not this figure, because I think this is perfect for this figure itself. You got the stern look, which is, a pretty serious look, and the intense look, which you would see later. Perfect for this figure. I wish they would incentivize us, like the completionist or the one who's picking up both figures, to give us different accessories, which they did. This one does have the helmet and the blade, but I'm talking about head sculpt. I wish the Infinity War has at least. I understand the angry face, because when he pulled the moon, he got that face. They got it right. But instead of the stern face, I wish they would have included like a smirking smile, like kind of like when he got Loki. I wish they would have included that. So therefore, at least we have one different version from each. So we're more buyers will be compelled, or at least incentivize themselves that, hey, I get this head sculpt, and I won't get this if I don't get this version of Thanos, which they did on the battle damage. He got that scared look. I'm not dying to get that look, or that figure because of that head sculpt itself, but if somebody is gonna get it anyway, at least incentivize them. That's the only thing. And another thing is that you saw the accessories that he does have earlier, and I think it's perfect for this figure. However, again, on the Infinity War, I wish they would have made it that there's a snapping finger instead of the articulated fingers. There's really no need for 2 articulated fingers. So if you want to get the snapping finger, you'll be like, hey, the only way to get that is either get it on eBay I'm sure somebody's gonna recast that, or get the Infinity War. So now you incentivize. There's two things now that the Infinity War does not have. I mean, does have, that this figure does not have. You know, like a smirking head sculpt and a snapping finger. So therefore, I can interchange both. You know, if I ever wanted to. So that's just my 2 cents. And here is the angry head sculpt, which I really do like. Both head sculpts are pretty strong. Let's be honest here. I posted some pictures on, if you really want to do good pictures, like look at their promotional pictures from BG Toy Art. A phenomenal photographer. If you don't know Hot Toys, you would think that this is a still from the movie. That's how good it is, not only in pictures but in hand. You know, like real time. If you display this piece, and this is one of those Hot Toys where it could match, I guess, a premium format's presence on the shelf, because most Hot Toys, you know, they're a bit smaller, so you have to get close to get all the details. This one is not. It's big, it's shiny, it has this beautiful head sculpt, something that I guess statues cannot replicate for whatever reason. So it's a plus. With or without helmet, this would shine in your collection. So I highly recommend this figure. And what head sculpt am I gonna use for this? I would say this angry head sculpt, because the other one from my Infinity War, I guess I'll stick with the more serious expression. It just, for me, it fits what he's doing. You know, he's about. I'm gonna keep that arm, the bended arm on the Infinity War. And like I said, I'm gonna do a comparison video. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it. If you can get both, get both. You know, I think they're different enough that you could, I guess, talk yourself into getting both. Although it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. 2 figures in your collection is almost worth $1,000. So, and you know, the biggest difference between this guy and the Infinity War is the inclusion of the arm for Infinity War, the bended arm, which I think is brilliant on their part. Could you achieve the same pose without the bended arm? Somewhat, but you can see on the elbows there, you see a big, you know, crease that would make any collectors cringe, because this is rubber, and you leave something in that pose for a long period of time, then you're asking for trouble. Not just for paint, but I honestly just did this pose maybe 5 minutes ago, and I can see some creases, and I'm you know, I hope it heals back. I'm pretty sure it will, but be very careful. If this is your first Hot Toys, or not your own, you know, it's the same concept for Hulk. Be careful. These are expensive figures. You want to post them, of course. You don't want to be so boring, and so be careful about this, guys. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to damage them either. They're really expensive. So if you're gonna put them on that pose, maybe just for photography, just take a picture, but don't leave them there for a long period of time. I'm telling you right now, you are gonna damage that. So there you go, guys. This is Thanos from Avengers Endgame. I hope you liked this review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well. But my last thoughts on this guy, it's a must-have. You gotta get a Thanos for your collection. Now the question is, which Thanos are you gonna get? I can tell you right now, you should get the Infinity War version. I love that movie. I think that's Thanos' story. So on that perspective, you should get that. Now the question remains whether this one or the battle damage one. I would say if you're gonna get just a Thanos, let's say you're gonna skip Infinity War altogether, get this. You know, because it's a good blend of both. So thank you for watching, guys, and I would see you guys. Watch out for the comparison video, but for this one, I would see you guys in the next review.